Thanks for joining us on Plus TV Africa. I am Felicity Ezewike. The winner of the Osun All Progressive Congress governorship primary, Alhaji Gboyega Oyetola, said he has accepted to be the party's flag bearer for the September 22 election. Oyetola, while reading his acceptance to newsmen on Friday night shortly after he was declared winner of the primary, said that he was humbled by the victory. Oyetola, who is Governor Arigbeshola's chief of staff, called on his co-contestants to join him in the task of winning the governorship election. He thanked all the party's members for ensuring his victory, adding that his emergence as the party's flag bearer was made possible by them. The Zamfara State Police says it has arrested about 117 persons in connection with the recent killings in Gusau, Shinkafi local government areas and other parts of the state. The spokesperson of the command, Mohammed Shehu, said this in a statement on Friday. According to him, the suspects were arrested during a raid carried out by the IGP Special Tactical Squad in conjunction with the command tactical team on Thursday, which lasted for several hours. He also noted that the command tactical team arrested 72 suspected bandits who specialize in using unregistered motorcycles to ferry kidnapped victims to their hideouts, while 73 unregistered motorcycles were recovered from them. The command therefore warned all criminals at large to repent and surrender their arms to the police or face their consequences when they are caught. Vice President Osinbajo yesterday directed security agencies and relevant bodies to commence a 72-hour joint operation to restore order around Apapa and environs with a view to easing vehicular movement in that part of Lagos. Trailers parked indiscriminately over a long stretch of the Apapa-Oshodi Expressway have been causing massive traffic on the road for several days. Osinbajo, who made an unscheduled visit to the road to personally assess the situation, also asked relevant government agencies to speed up the congestion of the Apapa ports. Involved in the 72-hour joint operation are the police, Navy, Army, Air Force, Federal Road Safety Corps, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. Others include the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASAMA, Container Truck Drivers, National Association of Road Transport Owners, NUPENG, Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria. He was accompanied by Transport Minister Rotimi Amechi and senior naval and police officers. 2 people have died with several others injured in a train bus accident on Old Abeokuta Road, Agege, Lagos. Eyewitnesses report that the victims were sitting on the train when it veered upon sighting the bus from afar. The victims reportedly fell on the rail line and were shredded by the moving train, while the other 2 fell by the bus. Emergency agencies, including the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, are already at the scene for recovery and evacuation. We will bring you details as we get them. Still in the news, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Information and National Orientation, Senator Suleiman Adokwe, has expressed satisfaction with the passage of the Agency for National Ethics and Value Bill 2018 into law. The bill passed on Thursday will provide a legal framework for ethical standards to be observed in both public and private places, as well as provide punitive measures for offenders. Presenting the report, Senator Suleiman Adokwe said the bill sought to provide legal framework for practices in government and private places to observe certain ethical standards.
It's a major step forward in fighting corruption in this country. If you know that certain practices are likely to engender imprisonment or fine, as the case may be, you are more likely to be very circumspect about certain things you do. There is a committee in the presidency that deals with matters of ethics and values. I recall in the past it used to be headed by Sarah Jibril, and she had fought tooth and nail to see that a legal framework was provided to give that committee a better bite. And so we believe that the presidency is already seized of the matter, and they should be able to
The House of Representatives is set to probe revenue leakages in the solid mineral sector between 2012 and 2017. It also moved in favor of a motion to probe monies not remitted from the country's marginal fields. Following the forthcoming election, a lot of sensitization has been ongoing concerning the PVC registration across the country. Plus TV Africa's correspondent Amaka Okoye visited an INEC center and files in this report.
The registration process for the permanent voters card is ongoing at different centers across the country. There has been growing concerns around the time and long processes it takes to get one in some centers. I visited one of the centers at Lekki, and here are some of the complaints I heard.
I arrived here around 4:30. I was number 30-something then. The officials came around past 8 and started calling our numbers at this spot. So they called us, they gave us a tag, and we all went in to do the registration. It was difficult getting in there because they were even doing some mago and taking some people in. Some people give them money and they just take them in. When I got in, it was like about 20 minutes and I got this. It's fast when you get in there. But before you get in, you go so far.
I came here at 5:30, still on the queue, and I have this number with me. The number is 120-124, and I'm still waiting to hope when the time is going on, when to register my BVC, still hoping to have it.
I've been here since 6 a.m. and until this time I can see the crew. Some are so frustrated. We've taken the first procedure. I got to write your name. After your name, got to wait for your number. After your number, I got to queue again before they'll call you in to fill just a form. This will have been another place that I like. Where I'm coming from is from Adelo Deku, just to get this, because I need it, not just for this in election, but I need it for other documentation. But when I get here, I was like, this is mess, because something like this will have been to your nearby door where you can get it. But around VI to Lekki, just this place, which is very bad. So I'm not happy about this.
As much as more people want to come to get their PVC, the complaint is that the process is frustrating, is long, and is difficult. A lot of people have said they are not able to speak to me on camera because they are angry. At the moment, I'm not able to speak to any INEC officials because the authorized personnel to speak to me is not in. Amaka Okoye, Plus TV Africa.
A nursing mother and 154 out of 230 Nigerian football fans stranded in Russia after the 2018 FIFA World Cup arrived the country on Friday night. The stranded football fans came through Ethiopian airline flight number ETALP that arrived at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja at about 9:12 p.m. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Geoffrey Oyema, who was at the airport to monitor their arrival, lauded President Muhammadu Buhari's efforts to ensure their safe return. He also said the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been monitoring the process of the evacuation, which is under the coordination of the mission of Nigeria in Moscow. Still from the Nigerian mission, but this time in South Africa, they have announced that police officers implicated in the alleged murder of the Nigerian Ibrahim Bades would be charged to court soon. 25-year-old Bades, who was murdered in 2017, was among no fewer than 120 Nigerians, mainly young people, killed in South Africa since February 2016. Nigeria's Consul General in South Africa, Mr. Godwin Adama, told the news agency of Nigeria in a telephone interview from Johannesburg that the South African authorities had confirmed that investigation into the murder of Bades was almost concluded. Bades, a native of Lagos State, was brutally murdered by the South African police on October 10, 2017 in the country. As police officers implicated in the murder will be charged to court any moment, the envoy said. Ghana's social media space, Facebook and Twitter, has been buzzing with the call for the arrest of a police officer for assaulting a nursing mother. A viral video shows the said officer in what starts like a tussle with a woman in a banking hall. Subsequently, he is seen hitting the woman with an umbrella and slapping her on the face. Reports indicate that a woman, a client of the savings and loans company where the incident occurred, had arrived when the company had closed. She ostensibly got in despite the close of business and refused to leave till she could withdraw a sum of 250 cedis. Local media portals also report that the police hierarchy has confirmed that a probe has been opened into the alleged incident and that due process was going to be pursued. With days to general elections, Zimbabwe's main opposition leader Nelson Chama says the ruling ZANU-PF is playing stomach politics. Chamisa, who leads the Movement for Democratic Change (MDC), said the use of food in the ZANU-PF's campaign was unacceptable. Speaking to the press after meeting the elders, a global think tank currently led by former United Nations Chief Kofi Annan, Chamisa said, and I quote, "We are particularly concerned by the use of food as a political weapon by ZANU-PF, particularly distributing food these 2 weeks in the round-up to the elections," end of quote. He also addressed what he said was President Mnangagwa's complicity in wanting to manipulate the electoral process, particularly the issue of ballot accountability. The Cameroonian government has disclosed that over 100 members of the Defense of Security Forces, DSF, have been lost to the activities of separatists in the Anglophone regions. In giving figures on the impact of secessionist activities on the DSF and the general population, government said 109 DSF were killed while 200 were wounded. Yaoundé was responding to queries by Human Rights Watch ahead of the group's publication of its latest report on the Anglophone crisis. When we return, we will bring you the latest on Missouri tourist boat incident and updates on Ohio death row inmate spared after childhood abuse revelations and more. Don't go away. The 17 victims who died when a towboat sank in a Missouri lake on Thursday included 9 members of one family, officials in the U.S. state say. A surviving relative told media that the boat captain had told the 31 passengers not to put on life jackets. The amphibious dock boat capsized during a rapidly deteriorating thunderstorm on Table Rock Lake, a popular tourist attraction. Missouri Highway Patrol said that the ages of the deceased ranged from 1 to 70. The woman, who says she lost 9 members of her family, has been named as Tara Coleman. Fox News reports this. She is one of the 2 in her family to have survived. Governor of Ohio, John Kasich, has spared a convicted killer sentenced to die after jurors said that his childhood abuse had not been properly detailed at trial. He commuted Raymond Tibbetts' sentence to life in jail due to fundamental flaws in his sentencing. Juror Ross Geiger found evidence of Tibbetts' traumatic past that jurors never had, he told parole officials. Tibbetts, who is 61 years old, was convicted of killing his wife and a 67-year-old man in 1997. The governor overturned an Ohio parole board ruling and granted clemency to Tibbetts, who will now serve life in jail without parole. Civil rights groups have protested against the Polish government's judicial reforms. Poland's lower house of parliament has approved further laws to reform the judiciary, a move that critics say threatens democracy. The changes backed by the Sejm make it easier to replace the Supreme Court's Chief Justice Małgorzata Jesdorf. Earlier this month, Professor Jesdorf had refused to step down, rejecting a controversial law forcing senior judges to retire early. Poland's Senate is expected to easily back the changes in the coming days. The proposals then need to be signed by President Duda, an ally of the governing Conservative Law and Justice Party, to become law. Business Report is on after this. To stay with us. The Central Bank of Nigeria has flagged off its intervention in the sale of foreign exchange in Chinese yuan, signaling the consummation of the bilateral currency swap agreement signed with the People's Bank of China on April 27, 2018. A statement issued by the bank on Friday disclosed that the sales shall be through a combination of spot and short-tenured forwards. It added that the exercise, which shall be special secondary market intervention sales retail, would be dedicated to the payment of renminbi-denominated letters of credit for raw materials and machinery and agriculture. The bank spokesman Isaac Okorafo explained that the CBN would receive bids from all authorized dealers. He added that due to the peculiarity of the exercise, the bank would not be applying the relevant provisions of its revised guidelines for the operation of the interbank foreign exchange market, which direct all SMIS bids to be submitted to the CBN through the Forex primary dealers. Our correspondent Irene Ubani brings us up to speed with the activities at the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
For the first time this week, the Nigerian Stock Exchange closed on an upward trend as the all-share index rose by 0.37% to close at 36,603.44. On the list of top gainers were Dangote Cement, which rose by 4 naira 7 kobo, CCNN 1 naira 9 kobo, Nigerian Breweries 1 naira 9 kobo, Stanbic 1 naira 2 kobo, and Forte Oil 9 kobo. And on the list of top decliners were Nestle, which dropped by 12 naira 3 kobo, Prasco 7 naira 35 kobo, Dangote Sugar 1 naira 8 kobo, International Breweries 1 naira 7 kobo, and Wapco 1 naira 5 kobo. And on the list of top trades were Sterling Bank, Medview Air, Zenith Bank, Law Union, and Transcorp. Equity capitalization closed at 13.259 trillion naira, and total deals in today's market was 3,677.
Still ahead on Plus TV News, it's a roundup on entertainment and sports. We're back in a moment.
And in entertainment, Celine Rudolph and Lionel Richard Luke, who are both vocalists and guitarists who make up a German jazz duo, will be performing on the 28th of July at Goat Institute in Accra, Ghana. The duo has a joint album titled Obsession, an album which opens up musical horizons for its diversity in sounding like jazz with influences from Benin, Brazil, Germany, and America. They sing songs in English, French, and sometimes in fantasy languages, creating a unique, uncommon sound. They have performed in other West African countries in the past. Still on entertainment, a South African comedian has come under fire after he made jokes about Africa still winning the World Cup, even though France won Croatia with a 4-2 victory, and that is Trevor Noah. South African comedian made light of the fact that France's national team consists of French citizens. Many are children of immigrants or immigrants themselves, and many of them do not hail from the European continent but Africa. And the French ambassador to the United States, Gerard Arroud, addressed Noah and his comments in a letter expressing his displeasure and protesting the joke, saying it legitimizes the ideology which claims whiteness as the only definition of being French. American rapper and songwriter Bobby Shmurda confirmed he'll be released soon from prison. In a recent phone interview, the rapper said he got 2 years left, that in 2020 he will be coming out of prison. He also went further to shed more light on the issue with Tekashi 69. He said he had been hearing a lot about the beef with 6ix9ine, but the rapper said he has no issue with him, that everyone should not listen to what is going on. And Bobby Shmurda was arrested for second-degree criminal weapons possession. And that's it on entertainment, and the very best of sports right after this. And in sports, after a first leg away draw, Paul Aigbogun's boys need a positive result in Lagos to qualify for the finals in Niger Republic next year. And Nigerian under-20 midfielder Afiz Aremu says his side are fully focused on securing the victory against Mauritania at the Agege Stadium later today. And the Flying Eagles secured a slim first leg advantage following a 1-0 draw in Nouakchott a week ago, and still need a win to seal the qualification for next year's finals in Niger Republic. And Chuba Akpom is set to leave Arsenal this summer and join Belgian top flight club St. Truiden permanently in a deal worth £2 million. And Chuba Akpom is one of the 5 players dropped by Unai Emery for the Gunners' pre-season trip to Singapore. This 22-year-old is in the final year of his Arsenal contract and has struggled to establish himself in the Gunners' first team since his competitive debut against Sunderland back in September 2013. And AS Roma owner James Palota has been banned from attending any UEFA game for 3 months, and his club fined 19,000 euros after their Champions League defeat by Liverpool. And Palota was sanctioned for calling the match officiating an absolute joke. The club were charged over insufficient organization and blocked stairway at the match in Rome on the 2nd of May and for fans setting up fireworks. And Liverpool lost the semi-final second leg 4-2 but won 7-6 on aggregate. The Roma's fine follows a 50,000 euros penalty for crowd trouble at the first leg on 24th of April. And Liverpool fan Sean Cox suffered serious head injuries in an attack outside Anfield before that game. And then 2 Italian men have been charged with violent disorder in relation to the incident. And that's it on Sport Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoko.
Thank you, Udoka. That's our news roundup of events. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines. Do join us again. My name is Felicity Ezewike. Wishing you a great day.